Hi, welcome to Snaizeholme, here in the Yorkshire Dales, a site owned and managed by the Woodland Trust that's supported by the White Rose Forest.
Snaizeholme is one of the largest woodland creation sites in England, and it's a fantastic project that's aiming to do a lot of stuff. Maximising biodiversity is one of them, so there's a huge range of different habitats that are being enhanced through this project. Not just the tree planting, but also the open spaces as well. And it's the scale and ambition is huge, and it's something we're really proud to support.
It's certainly a unique place to work here, and this year has been really quite unique with the weather. It's just been one storm after another. The team's been just amazing really to put up with that. It's been pretty tough really. We've started naming dry spells now, like you get a named storm. The dry spells are so infrequent, we're naming dry spells, but we're still on A because we've only had one dry spell this year. So last year was great, we had lots of sun, but this year has been very, very challenging. Normally the tree planting that we've done in the past, we always put a guard on to stop the herbivores eating it. So it's quite an interesting experiment really. We're obviously planting a lot more trees than we're going to need at the final establishment. We know that we're going to have to come back and replant some because that's just the nature of the job. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes in the next 3 years. But I mean, it is good because the amount of plastic you would normally see on this site would be quite an eyesore really. They're a necessary evil sometimes, so I don't mind putting tubes on because sometimes you need them, but in this case I think it's probably the right decision to go plastic free. Generally the planting season is November to March. We had a bit of an earlier start. We use cell-grown trees, which are a bit different. You can start planting those a bit earlier in the year. This season's planting we started back in September, and hopefully we'll be done by next week sometime.
So Snaizeholme is the largest project that we're funding in the White Rose Forest area, and it sits within our Landscapes for Water programme, which is all about using woodland creation to slow the flow of water to help lower the risk of flood further downstream. So this site is a perfect example of that. It's the head of the valley, and the water that flows through this valley is in the Suno catchment that ends up in York, which has suffered greatly from floods over the last few years. So the work that the Woodland Trust are doing here could have a real impact further downstream. So you're in the second season of planting. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty well. Just coming to an end now. We started sort of in October and then just about finishing up. So yeah, we're in a bit area we've planted this year, working our way around the head of the valley. So we've planted sort of probably in excess of about 190 hectares. Mm-hmm. So we've met the goal for this year with a bit more to go next year.
And in terms of species, what are you planting?
Quite a mix, broadleaf mix typically. Quite a bit of willow, quite a lot of thorns, so quite a lot of shrubby species. A bit of Scots pine in there, which is a little bit different.
And the planting team, how many people have you had working on it? Have they struggled in some of the bad weather, or has it been all right?
Yeah, it's been quite challenging, I will say. But generally, sort of a group of between 4 to 7 of them. Really great set of guys, looking generally planting about 700 to 1,000 trees each day. So yeah, they fair go at it, and real tough workers. Here at Snaizeholme, we're looking to create 3 different types of wooded habitat here. These range in sort of the typical densities, and the idea is that hopefully we're creating real sort of variety of habitat for a lot of different species. One of the key areas is the sort of the edge of shrub habitat, which borders sort of some areas of a wading habitat, which we're trying to do really sensitively and up and away from the habitat itself.
So it looks like we're in a higher density area here.
Yeah, that's it. We're just coming up sort of the transition between one of our sort of medium up to the higher density sort of areas. So yeah, you can see a lot more sort of the scrapes and the trees. Little thorn here, looking all right. It's had a bit of all issues in some places, but nothing on that one per se. And then yeah, as we head up, we'll probably get into a slightly higher density. And then again, as we go higher again, it'll reverse and we'll start seeing lower density, more shrub species coming into it. Yeah, we're planting twice as many trees as we actually want to succeed here. The idea being we're not using tree protection, so we're accepting that we will lose some of the trees planted. We're trying to plant in a way that is a lot more natural, so that we're quite random, we're not equal spacing trees and we're not putting them in lines. So the way we plant will hopefully create a more natural, pockety woodland, but also the fact that we will be accepting we will lose some trees, again, will hopefully create that much more natural sort of diversity of woodland that we're hoping to create here.
Everything we're planting is deciduous apart from one native conifer, which is the Scots pine. We're on shrub mix at the moment. There's mainly blackthorn, hawthorn and some willow. The wildlife here really is the thing that's done it for me this year. The things you see up here, we've seen things like short-eared owls, you've got red squirrels, you've got grouse, seen grouse. It's just such a massive diversity of wildlife, and this is the idea of the project, is to try and, you know, help that along the way, especially in these times.
We're on bare root at the moment. Bare root, much bigger roots, take a bit longer.
Yeah, they do.
So we're averaging about 600 to
I would
700.
say 600-700 a day.
Yeah, a day. So that's per person. When you're doing cell grown, we can get up to like, what, 1,200?
Yeah.
We're between 1,000 and 1,200. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad. We've managed to do the season pretty much because this is our last day. So
yeah, this is our last day.
Which it
That's
could have
what's
been
keeping us
nicer
going.
for us, but you know.
Because it's quite a long way to travel, we do stay at the youth hostel some nights. And the hostel's been great, it really has. They've got a drying room, which has been amazing this year. And we get a tea cooked for us, and then an early night, rinse and repeat, and do it again the next day. So, and hopefully your stuff's dried in the morning. It's really a case of doing lots and lots of stretching, yoga, Pilates, because we are bending down all the time. So yeah, it's just about keeping flexible and hopefully not getting injured.
Another big part of what we've been doing this year is access improvement work. So installing the bridge that we have behind us here to gain access to this eastern side of the valley, which we previously had very poor access to. We've also commenced on the restoration work and repurposing of some of the field barns on site. So we've got builders here undertaking that work now, which should see us well into summer and maybe hopefully finishing up next winter.
Funding that Woodland Trust are using to deliver this project is through the White Rose Forest and DEFRA's Trees for Climate grant. And you know, one of the strengths of that funding is its flexibility. So everything that they're trying to deliver here in terms of the diversity of habitats is only possible because of the flexibility within that grant. It's been fantastic working with the Woodland Trust and the scale and ambition of this project, and you know, that's what we do at the White Rose Forest, is provide support, funding and advice. So we're keen to work with all landowners across North and West Yorkshire to deliver more projects like this.
For me, especially, working in the team has kept us going through some of the worst weather. It's all about the team spirit and great bunch of people. Mix of boys and girls, so yeah, it's great, and we have some interesting conversations, don't we, Beck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Consciousness.
Yeah.